Good morning. Welcome to our discussion on the topic entrepreneurship. Let us start. Entrepreneurship has a lot of different meanings from people to another person to another person. The word entrepreneurship originates from the French word entreprendre, which means to undertake. Entrepreneurship is the key to innovation, productivity, and effective competition. When a person realizes his ability or capacity and makes its practical use and establishes new business unit, this activity is known as entrepreneurship. The concept of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is an innovative function. It is a leadership rather than an ownership. The process of innovation may be in the form of introduction of a new product, use of a new method of production, opening a new market, and conquest of new source of supplying raw materials. This is according to Joseph Schumpeter. At this point, let us discuss the difference between the traditional concept and the modern concept of entrepreneurship. The traditional concept of entrepreneurship explains that the ability and the aptitude to bear various types of business related risk and facing of uncertainties. The modern concept is the ability to establish new enterprise and carrying out various new improvements in the enterprise. Sabi nila, no, wala talagang yumayaman sa pag-iempleyado, no? Pero hindi naman natin na ini-underestimate 'yon, no? Maraming nagsasabi na if you want to grow as a person in terms of business, go and invest or be an entrepreneur. The risk bearing capacity. Entrepreneur is all about risk, and risk refers to the variability of an outcomes or return. Entrepreneurs are risk takers. They are the people who don't fear anything in business. Entrepreneurship involves taking of risk and making necessary investment on the condition of uncertainty. You don't know what are the you don't know what are the possible solutions to a risk that might uh, uh, happen in the future. To organization building ability, entrepreneurship is ability to connect and coordinate the productive resources to organize a venture and enterprise. It is bringing together the factors of production and to organize them. Entrepreneur makes decision about resources allocation as we need to understand uh, how are going to allocate our resources, and that's the concept of entrepreneurship. The managerial and leadership skills is also we need to emphasize this. Entrepreneurship is the process of bringing together creative and innovative ideas in action with the management and leadership skills to mobilize the appropriate people, money, and the operating resources to create wealth in the process. Entrepreneurs can translate their ideas into action with management and leadership skills. So that's why we can really um, move out the concept of managerial and leadership skills in understanding the concept of entrepreneurship. Innovative function, on the other hand, talks about the specific function of an entrepreneurship. It is the means by which the entrepreneur either create new wealth, producing resources, or in those existing resources with enhanced potential for creating wealth. Joseph Schumpeter revived the concept of entrepreneurship as an innovative function. So he sees this as an innovative function rather than it is just about leadership, it is just about uh, 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 concepts, no, but the innovative function and understanding the concept of entrepreneurship is very important. Moreover, the high level need of achievement, the person who are motivated with the need for high achievement have a high level of entrepreneurial activities. They have a desire to be successful in the competitive situation. In discussing the concept of entrepreneurship, we need to also to understand the concept of search for profitable opportunities. Entrepreneurship is actively searching for opportunities or to do new things or to do existing things in new ways for a profitable business. Potential entrepreneurs are always looking for unique opportunities to fill their needs and their wants. As part of understanding entrepreneurship, wealth creation, no? Let us discuss wealth creation. Entrepreneurs are economic agents who transforms demand into supply. Now, if there is no demand, there will be no supply. And they transform resources into useful goods and services that leads to creation of wealth and industrial growth. So entrepreneurs are really into what we call the concept of wealth creation. No, they are thinking about it all the time. Entrepreneur are also change agent. This is the modern concept of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneur becomes the change agent who transform the resources into useful goods and services, and they often creating the circumstances that lead to the industrial growth. No, so sabi natin, entrepreneur is not just an entrepreneur; they're a change agent. They are innov they are innovative individuals. They are leaders, and etc. and etc. The process of creating new values, no, under the concept of entrepreneurship is also a modern concept because through entrepreneurship, new products, services, transactions, approaches, resources, technologies, and market are created that contribute some value to a community or marketplace. Value can be created when resources are transformed into outputs such as products and services. The subjects or discipline as a concept of entrepreneurship is a fast growing area in the field of colleges and universities. Most universities in the countries did research on entrepreneurship, followed by training courses. And due to this a fully developed subject, many entrepreneurial schools have been opened. In the definition of an entrepreneurship, as what I said earlier, there's hundreds of definition. It may be classified in establishment of new enterprises based, a definition based on a function base, a definition based on combination base, decision making base, and the innovation based. Let's talk about establishment of new enterprises based as a definition of entrepreneurship. According to Professor Musselman and Jackson, entrepreneurship is the investing and risking of time, money, and effort to start a business. But sir, no, bakit ang daming bumabagsak na mga business establishments? No, ang daming reasons kung bakit, no? According to Professor Uday Parikh and Manohar Dadkarni, entrepreneurship also refers to the general trend for setting up a new enterprises in the society. And this definition does not just specify with function and activities are to be performed for establishing new enterprises, for starting new businesses and making them successful is a concept of an entrepreneurship. So what is a function-based definition of entrepreneurship? According to Joseph Schumpeter, entrepreneurship is an innovative function. It is an leadership rather than an ownership. So, no, ang ganda ng pagka-explain ni Joseph Schumpeter. Sabi niya din, no, it reveals various opportunities and abilities like forecasting, economic opportunities, and ability to organize various sources and techniques of production. Kung titingnan natin yung definition niya ni Joseph Schumpeter, he gives emphasis on the functionality of the concept of entrepreneurship. What is now a combination base? And the scholars elaborate entrepreneurship as a combination of function and activities in the organization. That's their understanding. And according to H.W. Johnson, entrepreneurship is a composite of three basic elements: invention, innovation, and adoption. Decision making based, according to Lamb, entrepreneurship is the form of social decision making performed by economic innovations. This definition focuses on social responsibilities and role of business. This definition does not lay emphasis on doing innovations directly in the society. So yan naman yung explanation natin on decision-making base. Innovation based, according to Prof. Rao and Meta, entrepreneurship can be described as a creative and innovative response to the environment. Entrepreneurship is an activity of linking the businesses with the society and environment. So that's why we have also concept of corporate social responsibility. We have concept of the role of the entrepreneurs in building the society and etc. That's according to Professor Rao and Mehta. That's a innovation-based concept of what entrepreneurship is. Components and elements of entrepreneurship: the entrepreneur, pursuit of opportunities, innovation, organization creation, creating values, the profit or the non-for-profit, growth, uniqueness, process. Characteristic of entrepreneurship: innovation, risk-bearing capacity, creating creative decision, creating and managing resources, managerial skills and leadership, gap filling function, business-oriented tendency, economic activity, and producing results, lifestyle. Concept of an entrepreneur: it refers to a person, the creator, organizer, decision maker, initiator, leader, motivator, and risk taker. So let's talk about the concept of a wage employment and entrepreneurship. Sabi nga nila, wala daw lagi lumayaman. Walang lumayaman sa pagiging empleyado. So at this point, now let us attempt to differentiate both two concepts, entrepreneurship and wage employment. Let's start with the wage employment and versus the entrepreneurship. Wage employment, work for others. And if you're an entrepreneur, you are your own boss. For wage employment, you follow instructions. But for entrepreneur, you make own plans. Wage employment is a routine job. But in entrepreneurship, you there is a what we call creativity activity or creative activity. Wage employment, earning is fixed, never negative. No, but for entrepreneurs, can be negative sometimes. Wage employee or employment does not create wealth, but under entrepreneurship, generally surplus and you create wealth to the contribution of the GDP. Um, can choose from government service, public sector, or private sector. That is under the wage employment. But for entrepreneurship, you can choose industry, trade, or service enterprises. So nakita natin, napakalaking difference, no? Sa unang definition pa lang, nakikita natin napakalaking difference between wage employment and entrepreneurship. So who is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is an individual who starts a business venture and is responsible for its development. An individual who bears the risk of operating a business in the face of uncertainty, and one who organizes, manages, and assumes the risk of a business or enterprise. So some people might think, sir, ito bang mga entrepreneur, no? Bakit hindi sa takot magkamali, no? Because risk is always part of establishing a business. You know, if you want to start a business, risk is always there. A characteristic of an entrepreneur should have what we call the concepts and different concepts. No, we have mental ability. What is mental ability? Entrepreneur must have creative thinking and must be able to analyze problems and situations. He should be able to anticipate changes. No, if you don't have the what you call creative thinking and hindi mo kaya mag-analyze ng mga problema and part ng situation, you will face a problem. So that's a mental ability. Business secrecy, he should guard his business secrets from his competitors, of course. Another characteristic of an entrepreneur is you know how to safeguard all of these informations, no? Because that is your competitive advantage, and your competitor might use that, no, to 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 stop you from growing, and even to make this as a strategy for you to lose some, no? So clear objectives is also characteristic of an entrepreneur. He must have a clear objective as the exact nature of business or the nature of goods to be produced. Human relations. He must maintain good relation with his customer, employees, and etc. Lahat ng part ng ating stakeholders, you should maintain a good relationship. And to maintain a good relationship, he should have emotional stability, personal relations, tactfulness, and consideration. Communication ability, he should have good communication skills, meaning, no, both the sender and receiver should understand each other's message. No, and it's part of what we call the characteristic of an entrepreneur. He can convey message and easily gets message. That's the concept of communication ability. The technical aspect is also an important characteristic of an entrepreneur. The technical knowledge, he should have sufficient technical knowledge. So now let's talk about the importance of entrepreneurship. Number one, it reduces poverty level because you provide employment. Of course, in relation, you increase employment, fulfill the demand of the people, and help to develop economic condition of the country. So there's a lot of reasons, no, why entrepreneurship is important. The cause of failure. Let's talk about cause of failure. Number one, cause of failure for entrepreneurship, number one, is lack of visible concept. If from the very beginning you don't see the concept, the visible concept of the proposed business, then we can face a problem. And that is a cause of a failure. Lack of market knowledge. If you don't know your market, if you don't know your industry, that's another problem. Lack of technical skills. No, if you have a problem in this one, there's a lot of schools offering technical supports. You might enroll, no, and for you to improve. Lack of seed capital is another problem why entrepreneurs fails, no? Lack of business knowledge, lack of motivation, time pressure and distraction, legal constraints and regulation, monopoly and protectionism. Ito yung mga causes of failure of entrepreneurship. So some of the real entrepreneurs, that's this is in India, no? The chairman of Wipro Technology, one of the largest software in India, si Azim Premji, no? Isa-isahin lang natin sila. This is also in India. Sorry for using an Indian presentation, but all of our example is they're Indians, no? So entrepreneur, so yes, you can be an entrepreneur, no? So entrepreneur is a person. Entrepreneurship is the process. Entrepreneur visualizer, entrepreneurship is the vision. Entrepreneur is the creator, you are entrepreneurship is the creation. Entrepreneur organizer, entrepreneurship is the organization. Innovator, innovation. Planner, planning. Leader, and leadership. Types of entrepreneur, no, this is our might be our last discussion. On the basis of nature, type of entrepreneur, innovating, imitative, Fabian drone. On the basis of activity, soul, work, power, builder, product, innovating, format, unused resources, capital, accumulating, and etc. On the basis of ownership, private, government, joint sector, or cooperative. On the basis of size, an entrepreneur might be a small scale or a large scale. On the social basis, exploitative or ideal. On the basis of number, sole, group, copreneurs, institutional. Other. Social woman, agripreneurship, technopreneurship, netpreneurship, portfoliopreneurship, entrepreneurship, and dami po, no? And the role and importance of entrepreneurship as malapit na po tayo matapos, 5O of economic development, basis of business, organizer of society productive resources, contribution of the production of new resources, development of new production techniques, helpful in capital formation, development of new markets, establishment of new industrial enterprises, contribution in development and expansion of existing enterprises. The role of importance of entrepreneurship as well is help in bringing changes in the social framework. The contribution in the formation of industrial climate, contribution to generate employment opportunities, contribution to raise the standard of living, help in removing regional disparities, and encouragement of investigation and research. That is all for my discussion on entrepreneurship. Before I'm going to end my discussion, I would like to say thank you to iHelp Business Solutions. I help for this self-paced training. Ang dami ko pong natutunan sa inyong self-paced training, and I'm very happy and confident that I can share these learnings, no, from my future clients, for my students, no, in the future, no. Maraming salamat po sa inyong ah, ah, binigay na bagong kaalaman. Ako po'y lubos na nagpapasalamat. Um, so this is a challenge for those who are listening right now. You may now start. Even maliit lang siya. You can now start selling, be an entrepreneur, be your own boss, because selling is something that challenging, and being an entrepreneur is something that is very challenging. And I believe that you will love the challenge, and accepting the challenge, understanding that you can do it. No, everything is just in the state of mind. Always remember, positive thinking plus positive action is equals to positive result. Thank you.